Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday Night Fire. Giving, of
Shalom,
course, our honor
shalom.
and our glory to Yahweh. Bashima Mashiach Malak Yabushai. Double honors to the elected elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach Malak Yabushai. The hardy, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, and presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the Aqua, tuning in live, married, unmarried, holding it down in households, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. And shalom, Yasha Allah to everybody tuning in live. Kwam Yashala. Shalom. You got a yard now. Can you hear me?
Khan. Laptop coming up. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Yashrael. All praises and double honors due to Yahweh Shema Shai. Right, he brought us together. Still in captivity. It's still good to dwell through the spirit amongst brothers and sisters.
You kind of freezing up. You freezing up a little up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you froze up a little bit. You might have to go back to what you said again. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. Current events. Did World War III start? And are you watching? Right, current events. World War III. Did World War III start? And are you watching? Right, there's a lot going on in the earth. There's a lot of prophecies unfolding. There's a lot of shaking of the hand that the Mosai has going on the earth. You got Iran, you got the Houthis, you got Babylon the Great. You have potential talks of an all-out attack between NATO going down with 90,000 troops and allegedly going down and attacking all of these nations in the so-called Middle East that are against them. Right? You have manifold prophecies coming on the earth. You have a doomsday clock that will be unveiled tomorrow, Lord willing, right? Which is a sign that the Most High is setting up to let you know how close the world is to impending doom, nuclear destruction, and our deliverance. So there's a lot going on in the earth in terms of war, prophecy, and things happening on the earth. The Lord has a spirit and this so-called 2024 to kick off this so-called year, which is rapid fire prophecy, right? Rapid fire prophecy, revelation, exposure. There's a lot going on to kick off this so-called year. It's still the month of January, and there's a lot going on, right? It's only 1 month in, so-called 2024, and you have so much going on in the earth, bro, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashmi Abushad. And it's only January, right? Who knows how long we're going to be here and what February has in store, or March or April, whatever the Most High has in store. But if January is going down like this, man, right, we want to see what the next month is, man. And we hope that each month within this so-called 2024, it increases more and more and more. The judgments, the death, the wars, the rumors of wars, the brewing famine. We pray that all of these things continue to increase and escalate throughout the years. We're not just hoping that one missile falls and things kind of quell back down. We're hoping and we're banking on Yahweh Bashmi Abashad to have this thing spread like a wildfire, which it already is. So we have to go into these current events and go into these worldly events and relate them to the Bible so our people can understand what time that we living in through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Abashad. Right? Shalom, King. Shalom. Can you hear me?
Khan, Shalom. Can you hear me?
Khan. Yeah, Satan messing up my live where I can't really see and hear brothers. All right. You can hear me?
I can. Con can.
All right, Khan. All right, I want to get this quick precept real quick. I want to go to the book of Luke, the 12th chapter. Right? Let's go to the book of St. Luke, chapter 12, and I want to get verse 54. Right? This is Luke chapter 12 and 54. It reads, and he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh the shower, and so it is. Right? And that's how man is. Man can see when it's about to storm. You see the clouds get dark, you see the lightning, you hear the thunder, and then you do what? You prepare yourself. You don't see the dark clouds coming, covering the summer sky, and then sit out there and just try to figure out what's going to happen next. No, you see the signs through nature that the Most High set up, the spirits working with the clouds and the rain, and you prepare yourself. You may get a poncho or umbrella. You may cancel outdoor plans you had. You may go inside. You might want to make sure you got a generator. You want to make sure you got the right things you need to survive the storm. Right? Let me read that again. Luke 12 and 54. And he said also to the people, when they see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh the shower, and so it is. Verse 55. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Yeah, when you can tell when this heat wave is about to approach. It might be 80 degrees. Monday, the forecast say 85. Tuesday, 90, 95, 98. You feel that heat coming. And you prepare yourself, man. You make sure your AC works. You take all your winter clothes, your fall clothes, you box them up, you hang them up, you get your summer stuff out, right? You make sure you got enough ice. You prepare yourself is the point. You got bottles of water. Man sees physical signs happen in nature and they prepare themselves and their wisdom. But what is the Most High about to say? Verse 57. It's like Luke 12 and 56. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? How is it that ye do not discern this time? How can you not tell what the hell is going on the earth? How can you not tell that war is about to arise? World War III could happen any week. It could be an ICBM missile dropped, right? It could be all hell breaking loose. How can you not discern the times? It's not a great mystery of what Yahweh Shem Shah is doing on the earth, man. He's kicking off January with exposing Amalek and tunnels, the Houthis launching missiles, Babylon doing counter strikes, Russia pushing west, or pushing west, about to invade Europe. You got disease X. You got a lot going on the earth, and you are supposed to discern this time and prepare yourself the same way you prepare yourself for a heat wave or a storm. And you prepare yourself by coming to Yahweh Shem Shah, right? By getting shelter. That's what they do when it's a storm and a heat wave. You get shelter, and that shelter is your mother's house. And you prepare yourself by repenting and keeping the commandments and examining yourself to make sure you're moving in the right spirit. All right, brothers, God.
Con, that's right. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Lord willing, everybody's reading, praying, fasting, and discerning the times in the last days. Right? This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, but that day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. How many times does the Lord say that over and over, that the Lord is coming as a thief in the night? Meaning everybody that's not watching is going to catch them at unawares, right? When they're relaxed, when they're falling asleep, when they're in their sins, right? When they're not watching all the things and events that's happening on the earth. In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy convocation and godliness, looking for and hasting until the coming of the day of God. Right, so Peter's saying he's supposed to be hasting and looking forward to these things. Ezra spoke of the same things when you read the book of 2nd Esdras, the 2nd chapter, verse 10 all the way down. Our forefathers hasted during these times because they understood that this is the end of this captivity and the beginning of our rulership to come. Looking and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's what all of this essentially means. Yeah, it means death, means persecution, right? It means pestilence, uprises, uproars. You understand? All hell breaking loose in the streets. And it may mean us being in a wilderness, man, right? All of these things are coming to pass, but nevertheless, the outcome of it is a new heaven and a new earth. And that's what all brothers and sisters' mind state should be in, looking to hasten towards the coming of our Lord. Because the Lord is coming to save us, man. Right? When we see pestilence on the earth, that's a sign of the Most High by Hashem Yahushua coming to save us. When we see all hell breaking loose with these nations and these uprisings and uproars, right? A lot is going on in the sea too, man. Right? All hell was breaking loose, and we're about to go into a Most High willing. But when you see these things, that's a sign and another sign of the coming of the Lord. Brothers got it.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for this place to go down, right? We are looking for this place to go down. And a lot of times, if you're not watching, you end up getting caught up in this world. You end up getting caught up in trying to get the next big job, trying to get your next big promotion. There's nothing wrong with maintaining yourself in this world, but when you start giving your heart to it, and then when a lot of times too, come to the realization that a lot of times when we go into the end of the world, some people get uptight because they don't want to hear about this, man. They don't want to hear about the end of the world because they want to get that job. They want that money. They want to get that extra woman they want, man. They want to actually travel around the world. They want to live their dreams and follow their goals and set their vain achievements up on high. So a lot of times the talk of the end of the world pretty much makes a lot of the people uncomfortable. It doesn't make everybody uncomfortable. It makes the men of the world uncomfortable. It excites us. We love talking about the end of the world. I believe we go into the end of the world more than any other topic, man. For the most part, we cover a lot of things, but hey, when it's time to talk about these last days and Yahweh's return, what else are we going to talk about? So you don't want to be that type of brother that gets uncomfortable when we talk about World War III, because you're not going to get that paycheck and you set your heart on a new house, or you set your heart on getting this woman, and now you kind of getting uptight. You're getting real irritable. You act like you really want it, but you really don't like to hear stuff like this, man. Right? Because it essentially cuts you. Right? Let me get this in Luke, the 21st chapter. Right? And we're going to go into these current events. Luke chapter 21 and verse 33. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Every prophecy is going to be fulfilled. And you got to remember that, man. The Lord said his word, so shall his word be that goeth forth out of his mouth. It shall not return into him void, man. But it shall accomplish that which he pleased and shall hasten to where he sent it, paraphrasing. Everything else is going to go, man. But the Most High words are going to endure. The chariots are coming. World War III will happen. A famine is on the rise. Destruction draws nigh. 2/3 of the people are going to be cut off. People are going to be breaking their houses for food. We got to keep talking about this, man. We got to keep planting that seed out there, because sometimes, Jake, you end up getting pulled back into the world. And we got to remind you that this place is going down. And sometimes, Jake, you need to hear that, man. Because a lot of times when stuff not happening at a fast rate and according to your time, you start getting slothful, man. And said, my Lord, the layeth is coming. All right, let me get two more real quick. Verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all of them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. So you got to check your spirit, man. And don't be in a spirit of excess and surfeiting and drunkenness, which means you stop reading because you're trying to get that next big job. You stop fasting because you want to start working out more, and now the fasting is taken away from you building muscle, and you start reaching out to all of these women trying to get all these wives because you really don't want to study and you're just looking for a woman, and you really like this place, man. You're picking up a lot of hobbies, and you got a favorite TV show, two TV shows where you binge watch them 4 days out the week, and you kind of not really into this thing like you used to be, man. Meanwhile, all hell is about to break loose, and you're becoming disenchanted. You're falling out of love with this, right? You got to keep your foot on the gas. Otherwise, surfetting is going to take hold on you, man. But brothers got it.
John, I want to mention something. Our forefathers, they always had a. Can brothers hear me?
Con.
Our forefathers always had an appetite for knowledge and wisdom, and also knowing when the end will be. This is Luke 21 and verse 28, and it reads, "And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh." So our redemption is coming from Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. And redemption just means to be saved and to delivered, right? Babylon, America, the things in this world that they may offer us, they're not going to deliver us. It just won't. It's not going to happen. Money won't deliver you. A house won't deliver you. Not even a person or a politician. Even the curses tell you, no man shall buy you, right? In other words, no man shall redeem you out this captivity, right? No mortal man, that is. I want to read this as well. This is Matthew 24 and verse 3. This is what's on the apostles' minds. "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" They didn't ask Yahushua, well, Yahushua, how can I become a better fisherman? How can I build up a house that's not upon sand? How do I be the next leader of Rome? How do we ransack Rome and kind of just rule over? They ask, well, when's the end going to be? And we ask the same thing to this very day. When is the end? Right? We ask amongst each other, how much sooner we got. When's the next prophecy? What did you see today? We anticipate the coming of our Lord Yahushua. That's where our mind is. If you see a brother constantly posting in a group chat or just sending you just folly things of this world, his mind isn't in the right spot. He doesn't really care too much about being delivered. But with that, I yield.
Let me get this quick precept. That's right. But our forefathers always hasted and were ready for the coming of our Lord Yahushua. Right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, and verse number 10. "Behold, the day, behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth. The rod hath blossomed, pride hath budded." So the Lord is likening the wickedness unto flourishing. And that's why we have to watch the signs of the times. You may watch the sky and understand when it's going to rain, right? You may watch the different elements, understand when it's going to be a storm or whatever the case may be. You have to look at the earth and see where all of this wickedness is rising up, because the Lord is going to have a threshing at the end of the world. He's going to thresh this place, and he's going to utterly destroy it. When all of the grapes have rised up to their peak, the Lord is going to thresh through the wicked. It says, "Behold, the day, behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth. The rod is blossomed. Pride have budded. Violence is risen up unto a rod of wickedness. None of them shall remain. None of their multitude, none of theirs. Neither shall there be wailing for them. That time is come." There's always a set peak and a set time for judgment to take place on the earth. "The day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof." And that goes with watching. You have to watch to see when things are risen up and when things are going to reach its peak. And that may watch, through social media, or you may watch through linking up the precepts, or you may watch through your local so-called cities and the things that are going on, whether they're shutting down food markets, right? Famines. You have to go inside of these things and keep watch, because all of these things are reaching a peak. Brothers got it.
And we're not going to wait, right? We're going to dive right into it. So we got a few things we want to get into through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. right? First and foremost, Salakia, right? So-called scientists to deliver a warning about nuclear war with the doomsday clock 2024 announcement. So tomorrow, so-called morning, and it's not as if, like the Lord said, no man knoweth the day or the hour, right? But we know the season. We know what season we in. And these devils, 2024, tomorrow, I believe around 10, 11 a.m., they're going to go back into the doomsday clock, which essentially has been set up by the Most High. The Lord set this thing up, right? So man can know that you're in the last days. Now, last time they went through this doomsday clock, they pushed it 90 seconds till midnight. Prior to that, I believe it was 2 minutes till midnight. So we don't, I'm led to believe they might push this thing 30 seconds to midnight. And the doomsday clock, again, it's not 1,000% accurate, but it's telling you that you at the end of this thing. And the closer it gets to midnight, that's when the nuclear holocaust is going to happen. And these bombs are going to drop. And war is going to kick off. That's Esau's perspective of why they created the doomsday clock from the Atomic Bulletin of Scientists. Now, they posted this a little over a week ago. It says, it's that time again, time for the annual update of the doomsday clock. And the doomsday clock is not going to pass us by. The sports game might pass us by. Then you might say, well, who won the game? Did you watch the big game? Well, I don't know. I missed it. We don't miss the end of the world, right? And these prophecies in the doomsday clock, right? Right, let me get a quick precept real quick. Right, let's go to the book of Second Ezra real quick. Quick precept. Right, this Second Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So it's not optional to measure the times. You're commanded. You're obligated by your creator to measure the time diligently in itself. And that's what Esau's trying to do. He's trying to measure the time. That's what this doomsday clock is. He's essentially, Esau has watchers on the left-hand side, wise men, and they're looking at the prophecies too. And they're looking at the current events. And they're matching nuclear destruction to how close we are based off of what's happening in the world. The Most High told you to do that. Right? You should be looking at these prophecies and looking at what's going on with Babylon the Great, the Houthis, and Russia and Yemen, and all of what's going on in the Middle East. You should be measuring the time. Now you're going to have it down to the second. Okay, it's 3 seconds. Okay, we got 2 months left, and 15 days and 66 hours and 2 minutes. No, but at least you're essentially seeing how close you are to the end of the world based off of the chronology of prophecy, right? So it reads, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake, Slakia, that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So the end is manifest. It's here, man. That's what the Most High put in a spirit to make this doomsday clock in the last days. Right, brothers, got it.
Khan, the Lord got a heavy spirit of the end of the world. If brothers don't know, man. I mean, you can't escape it. Even when you try not to watch, you got movies about it coming out on Netflix, right? Movies online. I mean, it's hard to escape. It's like the Most High is putting things everywhere. On the TV, right? Right on Netflix. He's putting it right on your social media pages. He's putting it right on your TV screens, your 5 o'clock news, your 7 o'clock news, your 9 o'clock news. Right? He's making brothers tap in through the spirit, bringing these things out on the lives. Right? I mean, if you're not watching at this point, it's because you choose to neglect all of the signs that the Most High is showing you. And the Most High knows how slothful man is. That's another reason why it's everywhere. They even got that on the left-hand side, productive programming. Right? They'll try to make you buy something. They'll put it on the TV screen. Then they'll put it right on a commercial. Then they'll be on a billboard driving to work. Then they'll talk about it at work. Then they may talk about it here. And then it's stuck in your mind, but it's on the left-hand side. And the Lord is showing you these things on the right-hand side everywhere you look. Right, let me get this quick precept. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time. So the Lord speaks about the day of doom. The day of doom is when all of this is over and the bombs hit the earth. When all hell breaks loose upon the streets and that red button is pushed. And there's no more talks about prophesied in these days to come. They're going to already be happening. It says, and the beginning of the immortality for to come. Right? So when these things kick off, it's always pain before there's pleasure. Right? You may have to work out in the gym or whatever the case may be, and it may feel, hard until you get that increase. I mean, even with a growth, right? That flower or that bud is shooting through that ground. It may be an uncomfortable situation until it gets to its peak, right? Everything has to go through that darkness before it goes into the light. And that's when these bombs and this pestilence and all these things hit the streets. That's why the Lord says, and the beginning of immortality for it to come, wherein corruption is past. I mean, and everybody on this live watching is tired of corruption, tired of wicked conversation, wicked speech, right? Evildoers, the workers of iniquity, all type of it's just wickedness in high places, sorcery, witchcraft, right? I mean, and you are hastening to the times where we are going to be set free through the Spirit, right, to dwell in righteousness on the earth, right? But brothers got it.
Yeah, I want to get this real quick. This Ezekiel, to add to that, Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord God unto the land of Israel, the end is come upon the four corners. Now, the four corners represent every part of the earth. When its destruction come, the Most High said the whole earth shall be devoured with the fire of his jealousy in Zephaniah the 3rd chapter. Right? So the Most High said the end is come upon the four corners. Right now, you even have people putting posts that they're building nuclear bunkers. First, Mark Zuckerberg, he came out and said, okay, I'm building a nuclear bunker in Hawaii. And then you have Rick Ross. This Negro, he said he's building a nuclear bunker. And then you just had
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, that's right, the water. Bill Gates. He said, look, okay, I heard, okay, Rick Ross, okay, Mark Zuckerberg, okay, I'm building one too. Why is everybody building nuclear bunkers? Why are these rich billionaires taking their money and investing it in a weapon, or it's like in a defense for nuclear bombs that are going to hit the earth? Like Ariah was saying, I mean, that's the Most High's put in their spirit. He got Bill Gates for you Edomites, and then for you Negroes of the world, Rick Ross said he's building a bunker. The Lord tapped in the Rick Ross spirit, man. Right? Just for all of the Negroes out there, so he can reach y'all and let y'all know, hey, look, this stuff is going down, man. And the Most High could talk to anybody. I'm gonna find that article. Brothers got it real quick.
Khan, and what manner of man should you be in these last days? That's the number one question. And destruction is inevitable. We understand that that's going to happen. We understand that all hell is going to break loose. We understand that, the Most High is going to have destruction to kick off. But what manner of persons are ye ought to be? Like St. Peter said, man. Let me get this quick precept. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 14, and verse number 13. Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and I will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord. Meaning your camp can't save you, man. Watching these lives and taking down the notes isn't going to save you. What's going to save you? Your works and your faith, by what you're putting in as of now. Right now, it's time to kick up. Right, me, myself included. Arms, purity, repenting, right? Sincerity. These are the things, forgiveness, right? Yeah, we're gonna go into the end of the world. We're gonna stay in prophecy, but in order to be able to survive the times to come, we have to understand what manner of man and woman and child we must be in the last days, man. And the Most High named Noah. Noah was perfect. You can read about that in Genesis, the 7th chapter. Noah was a perfect man. He had faith and he had works. You had the mighty Daniel, man. A Daniel was literally saved, like it says in the scriptures, by his innocency, right? Meaning he was perfect and undefiled. And you also have Job. Job was perfect. So these men are perfect that got delivered and or would be delivered by their own righteousness. So that's the type of spirit we got to really be in the last days. You got it, Ken.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Wait, did you read 14 and 21, or did you read 17?
You got it.
So Ezekiel 14 and 20. Though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, said the Lord God, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter; they shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. For thus saith the Lord, how much more when I send my four sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword and the famine and the noisome beast and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. And the same thing's going to happen again, right? Man and beast is still going to be destroyed even in this land, even the 2/3. That yield.
And I want to go back to Ezekiel real quick. This is Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 3. Ezekiel 7 and 3. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. And this judgment is happening not because the Most High gets off on destruction, right? No, the Most High is judging every man according to their works, man. The world is wicked, and the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, man. They have transgressed the law and broken the everlasting covenant, paraphrasing Isaiah 24 and 5 on down. The Lord said in Psalms 82 and 5, they walk on in darkness, and the whole foundation of the earth is out of course, paraphrasing. Everything's backwards, man. Sodomites, you got idolatry, you got transformers, you got freakism, you got many religions and false gods, you have covetousness and lust and murder, right? And wickedness on the earth. So this is the Most High judging the earth. But before the Most High destroys these kingdoms, the Most High always sends forth his servants, the prophets, to warn the people of what the Most High is going to do. In another place is written, surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth the secret unto his servants, the prophets, in Amos 3 and 7. Right? The Lord said, the lion hath roared, who will but fear? The Most High has spoken, who can but prophesy? In Amos chapter 3, verse 7 on down. So the lion is roaring right now. When you hear a lion roar, that's a sign for you to seek shelter. It ain't time to go figure out what's going on and go play, man. Right now, the lion, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem B'Shai, he is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring right now. And the Lord said, man should fear. Man should be in the time period of repentance, examining ourselves, fasting, doing the work, making our calling and election sure. And when this place goes down, you want to go out on fire, man. There's no woulda, shoulda, couldas, right? So let me read on. Ezekiel 7 and 4. And mine eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, in evil, and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. So while people aren't watching the end is watching you. The end is making itself manifest, letting you know what's going to befall the wicked through these different celebrities, through the prophets of the Most High, through these news articles, like the brother said, through predictive programming, through subliminal messages. These are all spirits, and they're watching you. All of these spirits are watching you, and the end is watching you. He's supposed to be watching the end, man. You know, because the end is actually stalking. And if you don't get right, the end is going to run up on you, man, and it's going to catch you unawares. Right, brothers got it.
Con, I wanted to touch on this. I don't know if you wanted to touch on it first.
But the article,
Yeah.
yeah, come. Rick Ross declares war on the apocalypse.
Man.
Plans underground bunker to rival Elon Musk. Rick Ross is prepared for the worst. Right, you got it. And I can read a little more. You want to touch on that?
Oh no, I'm gonna touch on it. Con. Yeah, so I mean, like anything, man, the Most High can use anybody, man. And the Most High used Nebuchadnezzar in the dream. And the Most High can use anybody. Right? This is the book of Numbers, chapter 22 and 22. Right? Balaam, right? Donkey's ass spoke, man. So the Lord can speak through an ass. Right? And who's your modern day ass? Your entertainers. Right? Kyrie Irving. The Lord used him for a second. And where is he now? I mean, and Jake really thought Kanye West was going to stand up for us, man. It was on the edge of their seat. Now they dust their garment off. They put on, yeah, it's time to be on fire. Right? And the Lord used these entertainers and dust them off, man, and throw them right back to where they was, man, in the darkness. And the Lord is using Rick Ross as an example, right, to let you know that even an ass can understand the times that we living in. Right? This is the book of Numbers, chapter 22, verse 22. And God's anger was kindled because he went and the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass and his two servants with him. And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way. Right? And you could perceive, you know, your grandfather may perceive something, man, your uncle, somebody at work, an Edomite, right? A law-abiding citizen minding his business. Right? Anybody can see these things standing in the way. It says, now he was riding upon his ass and his two servants with him. And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way and his sword drawn in his hand. What's the sword drawn in his hand? Destruction. It says, and the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way. Right? So even a foolish man or a foolish woman can perceive certain things while somebody that should be able with common knowledge and discernment to see things still doesn't see things. So there's no excuse why anybody that's in this truth, right, shouldn't know the times that we live in. Brothers got it.
Con. I mean, it tells you. Oh, go ahead, Yardan.
No, you got it. I was gonna say if it's more in that article.
Con, and I want to get this quick precept real quick. This Job 36 and 31. I'm gonna start at 30. I'll start at 29. Which the clouds do drop and distill upon man abundantly. Right? This is the Most High speaking about the rain in nature. Also, can any understand the spreading of the clouds or the noise of his tabernacle? Right? I mean, a man doesn't know how the Most High makes low clouds, cirrus clouds, stratus, high clouds. Man doesn't know how thunder is created. That's the noise of his tabernacle. Verse 30. Behold, he spreadeth his light upon it and covereth the bottom of the sea. So the Most High got lightning, and the Most High manipulates nature, and man can't comprehend it. For by them judgeth he the people, he giveth meat in abundance. So the Most High judges people with storms and rain and floods and things of that nature. Verse 32. With clouds he covereth the light, and commandeth it not to shine by the cloud that cometh betwixt. The Most High can have a cloud block the sun out, and can be an overcast, complete darkness. The Most High can do all things. Here's the point of verse 33. The noise thereof showeth concerning it the cattle also concerning the vapor, which goes to the point that even these beasts, when it says the cattle also concerning the vapor, it means even these beasts can perceive when it's about to rain. Right? You might have an earthquake and the cat might run inside. It might be a storm and the dogs might be barking. Right? It might be a hurricane and all of the flocks and the crows gather together and they running across the sky and they flying and trying to figure out what's going on. Even these beasts, the Lord said the cattle also concerneth the vapor. Now let me get this real quick. Right? And I'm I'm gonna read that in another translation very quickly. Right, Job 36 and 31. Right, let me get that again. Right, it reads, Slocky 36 and 33. Right, this Job 36 and 33. It reads, this from the NIV. His thunder announces the coming storm. Even the cattle make known its approach. Let me read that again. His thunder announces the coming storm. And the thunder is a sign before the storm. When you hear the thunder rolling, you know A is about to go down. This is the thunder rolling, man. And man might prepare himself, right? Even the beasts know. That's what the Mosai is saying. Even the cattle make known its approach. Because what are the cattle doing? They running to go inside. They mooing, they cutting up, right? And they letting you know it's about to go down. So that adds to the point that even the beasts of the field, they can recognize and they make known the approach of war. He's declaring war in the apocalypse. Who the hell is Rick Ross to declare war on the apocalypse, man? You can't declare war on the apocalypse. Apocalypse just means revelation or the end of the world. So he wants to build an underground bunker out of, and it's not sincere. He's doing it to rival Elon Musk. So he's not even sincere in his salvation. You know, he's just doing what he want to do. Right? But you got it, Yaradan.
All right, we continue on.
Okay, Khan. All right. In a surprising turn of events, hip-hop mogul Rick Ross has thrown his hat into the ring of apocalypse preparedness. And he's aiming to outdo even the likes of tech visionary Elon Musk. The boss recently made waves when a video surfaced revealing his ambitious plans to create an underground bunker on his property as part of its preparations for the end times. In the video, Ross exclaims, "I'm excavating. It's going down." Rick Ross said it's going down. Y'all know how I love real estate, and I usually like to build and go up. We going underground now. The statement showcases Ross's distinctive approach to securing his future, taking his passion for real estate to new depths, quite literally.
I got a quick precept.
Con.
All right, this is Revelation 6 and 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and rich men, and chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Now the Lamb is Yahushua, is none other than Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, who the world may ignorantly call Jesus. And it reads in verse 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So here we're hearing these men telling themselves that they're going to stand in the day of the Lord by their bunkers, that alone will protect them. That will suffice from the sword that the Lord has for them. But it reads in Job chapter 8 in verse 20, right, to give Israel some comfort, just because these men have a bunker don't make them secure. That doesn't mean nothing. Most High can remove their life from this earth tomorrow, and their bunker is for naught. So it reads in Job chapter 8 verse 20, behold, God will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers. I mean, these men can catch heart attacks in their bunkers. They're not just, impervious to everything in life now just because they have a bunker. I want to read one more in Job chapter 36, verse 6. He preserveth not the life of the wicked, but giveth right to the poor. And again, these men are poor, right? These men are not poor in spirit and wealth. They're rich. They're rich men, right? If you understand what I'm saying. And they're relying on their money to deliver and save them, to stand against the Lord. Their money is stronger than the Lord. That's what they're telling themselves and the world. My money can deliver me from the hand of the Lord. Wicked. You got it.
Khan Salaki, you got my message, King?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Hold on. I gotta close this out real quick.
You read Revelation 6 and 15, y'all done?
Con.
Okay, Khan, let me get this quick precept. All right, let's go to the mighty book of Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. And the Lord even gives you an in-depth, vision through the spirit of the thoughts of the wicked during the days to come. In Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, right? Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, right? Yaradan just read it in Revelations, the 6th chapter. So the Lord's going to tap the mind, right, of these men and expose them. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, right? And I'm going to start at verse 17. Right, I'm going to start at 12, and then I'm going to jump down. It says, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty. Who's more proud and lofty than the elites? Than these Edomites, right? They're the proud and lofty ones. And the Lord is going to be against them. And upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Who's more lifted up than the elites? They're the ones with the planes, the helicopters, the in-depth intel, to be able to buy expensive things that's off the market. There's certain things you can't buy. Like this, for example, man. You got to kind of search this out. Now, this is on a low level. They got bomb shelters, pricing, and floor plans. So if your mind wasn't right and your money is somewhat decent, you can get online and you can have an underground bunker delivered to your house, man. And whether you get Bob, Cat, and the trailer guys, them to come out and dig like they dig for a pool. However they put this stuff in, I'm ignorant to it. But you literally can buy an underground bunker, man. This is big business. The end of the world is big business. Bug-out bags, underground bunkers, flashlights, movie ticket sales. Right? This is really becoming a big thing. Right? Let me read on. Let me jump down to verse 17. And the loftiness of man should be bowed down, and the haughtiness of man should be made low, and the Lord alone should be exalted in that day. And the idols shall be utterly abolished, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks. The holes of the rocks is hip talk for a hiding place. The holes of the rocks, because that's what creatures do. That's what beasts do. Beasts don't have houses, they go into their dens. Now, who's the beast of the field? These nations. And these nations are going to adapt to a mind state and a mindset of a beast. And what do beasts do when it's rain, when they're scared, when there's noise, when there's a predator, when there's something that they can't defend themselves? They go into their holes. They go into their dens for protection. And that's exactly what the beasts of the field are going to do in the last days. While the men of the Lord are protected by the refuge of the Most High, under the secret place of the Most High, you're going to have the wicked putting their trust in carnal iron and carnal brass in places on the earth that can be dug out. It says, into the caves of the earth for the fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he arise to shake terribly the earth. And in that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which he made each for himself to worship the moles and of the bats, to go into the cleft of the rocks, into the top of the rag rocks, for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he arrives to shake terribly the earth. Cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be encountered of? Brothers, God.
God, I mean, look at this stuff, man. This is becoming lucrative. $463,000. And this doesn't include delivery or installation charges. So you're looking at a little over $500,000. Now you got the Extreme series called the Eagle. Check that out. The Eagle. $838,500. right? Now, really, Rick Ross, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, according to prophecy, if you got a nuclear bunker, you're still going to be destroyed in America. Right? The Most High, let me get this precept real quick. How many people got 848,000 you just sitting on? For you just sitting on, not for an investment or you want to buy a house or, no, you just got extra cash for a bunker, right? So this is that's for the elites, man. Right? This is Revelation, right? This Revelation chapter 11 and verse 13. I'm gonna start at 12. Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So that's speaking of when Yahushua returns with the chariots, they're going to beam up the elect. The biblical word is translate them from captivity up into the third heaven. Now, when the elect are beamed up, let's see what's going to happen to everybody else on the earth. Revelation chapter 11, verse 13. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. So what does it mean that a 10th part of the city is going to fall? The number 10 just means a whole amount or completion, meaning everything in Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. And it said, and in the earthquake, Salaki, were slain of men 7,000. Do you really think that the Lord is coming to kill just 7,000 people? No, 7,000 means completion, perfection. So everybody from sea to shining sea, from the Pacific to the Atlantic, from the east to the west, if you are not the elect and you're in America, you're going to be destroyed, man. Right? So the Most High, even if you're in Hawaii or Alaska, you're still part of Babylon the Great. And you will be cut down. So Rick Ross, your bunker ain't going to save you, man. They got missiles that can kind of go underground now and break up bunkers. So this is the 848,000 extreme series, man. But look at this. You got a power room, a gun room, a tour room, dining room table, bunk beds, a secure control room, escape hatch, a big kitchen, more bunk bed, storage, a closet. This is bigger than people's house. So this is how they living, man.
Even on a physical level, earthquake, it doesn't make that bunker. It's like that bunker isn't pervious to an earthquake, so you can still die. I was just looking into it. They said things can still fall on you during if you're in your bunker. A fire can happen. You just burn up alive. The Most High has who he's gonna want to be in the end of these days, and who he doesn't want to be in the end of these days. So you can't escape death. That's what I'm saying.
Right. This is not a final destination. So let's go back to this real quick. Right. Get a little bit more on this man. Right. This Rick Ross again. Furthermore, acknowledging the unconventional nature of his venture, Ross gives a shout out to fellow doomsday preppers in the video. So he's watching. And a lot of these guys, these celebrities get downtime, huh? They're not always performing. They're not always, making albums. They got downtime too. And they watch, they see what's going on. They breathe and walk like we do. They got TVs and smartphones. So he know what's going on. In the video, underlining the seriousness with which he is approaching this project. The move from building up to going underground reflects the rapper's determination to be at the forefront of survival strategies for whatever apocalyptic scenario might come his way. As the video circulates, fans and onlookers are buzzing with curiosity and intrigue about Ross's bunker project. The announcement not only adds a new layer to Ross's larger than life persona, but also positions him in direct competition with individuals like Elon Musk, known for the futuristic and innovative endeavors. So this guy, he's looking for this place to go down, but he's not going to make it either, man. See, if Rick Ross was to repent and get his spirit right, he wouldn't be worried about an underground bunker, man. Right? But this is what the world is about. When we go into this doomsday clock, as we go into it, everybody's getting ready, man, for a civilization-ending catastrophe. I think Yaradon, you just said they're making a Book of Eli 2. So they can't stop making movies about the end of the world. And then the Book of Eli 2 is a prequel. And it's about the immediate destruction when the bombs drop. You had Leave the World Behind. You got Book of Eli 2. You had This Is It. Right? Yeah, Don't Look Up.
It's another movie called Civil War coming out.
Yep, Civil War. And I think that's coming out in April or so. You got Civil War coming up. Right? So, hey, the Most High putting that in the spirit of these directors to push this out. Right? So it reads, it's almost that time again, time for the annual update of the doomsday clock, the symbol of how close the world is to civilization ending catastrophe. And this is something that we have to understand. See, civilization is not going to end. The only thing that's going to end is the kingdoms of this world and the world of Esau. A lot of people equate the end of the world with the end of the entirety of humanity, right? Where the human race is no longer there and they're extinct like the dinosaurs, and then a new species arrives and they find out that it was human life. And that's not how the Most High is going to set this thing up. Civilization ending is the end of Esau's world. Right? Didn't Most High say in 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau's world is coming to an end. His civilizations. Let me get one quick precept. Right? This Isaiah chapter classic, right? Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So all of the cities that they built in the world, that's coming to an end. New York, DC, London, Berlin, Paris, right? Rome, Athens, all of these world-renowned Edomite cities, Toronto, those are the cities and the civilizations and these other nations that are coming to an end. The brothers got it.
Right. Here's another precept that you can't escape. No matter if you got a bunker, no matter if you got some type of secret island somewhere, no matter if you get out of Babylon, right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 16. It says, from the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteousness. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously, yet they treacherously dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. So the Lord said, look, if you flee from the noise of fear, you're going to fall into a pit. And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open. And the Lord said, looking, the windows on high are open. You can't escape. Even if you go into that pit, even if you go into these secret places of the earth and these different holes, the Lord's going to find you. It says, shall be taken in the snare, for the windows from on high are open, and the foundation of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. Meaning when the earth is moved, the Lord is parabolically saying, there's no place where you can hide, man. If the Lord is moving things around, he's making mountains upside down. He's taking whole cities and he's going deep down under earth through these bombs, right? Hundreds and hundreds of feet, right? Discovering the secret parts. And the Lord is going to get up with you. There's no place where you can hide yourself, right? It even tells you that in Job. There's no place where the workers of iniquity may hide, man. If you think you can hide from the Most High, you're sadly mistaken. Let me get this last precept, right, in the book of Sirach, right? It's the mighty book of Sirach, chapter 16, right? And I'm going to start at verse 17. Say not thou, I will hide myself from the Lord. Shall any remember me from above? I shall not be remembered among so many people. For what is my soul among such an infinite number of creatures? You got people that actually think that they can hide. That you getting a doomsday bunker is going to actually somehow save you and your family. They're selling you a dream. Right? That website we went on, that's just selling you a dream. That's trusting in oppression and false hopes and desires of Babylon. It says this: behold, the heaven and the heavens of heavens, the deep and the earth and all therein is, shall be moved when he shall visit. The mountains also and the foundations of the earth shall be shaken with trembling when the Lord looketh upon them. No heart can think upon these things worthily, and who is able to conceive his ways? Meaning nobody is able to find out any type of protection or any resolution once the Lord has set his hand against you and once his eyes are on you. Brothers got it.
Con. So this says this year the clock will be updated on Tuesday, January 23rd at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in DC. The last announcement in January 2023 came before the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war, but amid nuclear tension surrounding Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So pretty much they're going to look at what's going on in the Red Sea now with the Houthis and Yemen and Hezbollah, Iran military factions, and they're going to see how America's responding with Britain and a lot of these NATO countries, and they're going to look at what's going on with Russia, Ukraine, and Kim Jong-un in Japan, and they're going to pretty much see how close they are to their own cities being taken out of the way. And they'll meet, and they'll sit there, and they'll unveil this clock, man. Like right now, they say there are 90 seconds till midnight, right? 90 seconds till midnight. Now, essentially, they're saying, we're not going to read this whole article, right? But what is the doomsday clock? The clock has been maintained by the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists since 1947. The group was founded in 1945 by University of Chicago scientists who had helped develop the first nuclear weapons in the Manhattan Project. So you watch that movie Oppenheimer, it's about them creating the first atomic bomb. The scientists created the clock in 1947 using the imagery of apocalypse, which is midnight, and the contemporary idiom of nuclear explosion, countdown to zero, to convey threats to humanity and the earth, right? So essentially, they're going to move this thing. Now, they can move it a minute till midnight, or they can move it a second till midnight, or 30 seconds till midnight. Now, when this thing moved to midnight, World War III is going to kick off, right? And you're going to have these nations in the Middle East actually start waging war against one another. All right, so you have this doomsday clock, and that's why you have stuff like NATO getting ready for war, 90,000 troops. NATO to hold biggest drill since Cold War with 90,000 troops. So this is a big deal. Everybody's getting ready for war. Let me get the book of Joel, the classic, the 3rd chapter. Right? This is Joel. Now you can say, well, that's a coincidence. Right? War happens all the time. It's part of man's history. No, this is Bible prophecy, man. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So the Most High has all these nations putting down a day-to-day tools like a plowshare or a pruning hook. A lot of these guys, man, that's going to be in war, they have other jobs, man. People are going to get drafted. People are going to come off the farmland and they're going to hold a weapon. They're going to put that plow down and pick up an AK-47. They're going to put that pruning hook down, right? The damn trailer tractor. And they're going to pick up a damn M16. They're going to put that pen and pad down to that keyboard and pick up a grenade, man. And say fire in the hole. All of these nations are getting ready for the biggest war to ever happen, which is World War III. And there won't be a war after. There ain't no World War IV. I'm gonna just put that out there. And what about World War IV and World War V? It ain't no World War IV, man. That sounds insane even saying that. But then you're gonna have World War V. No, this is it, man. Brothers got it.
Con. Right, let me get this quick precept. Right, and this is the mighty book of Ezekiel, right, chapter 22, and I'm gonna start at verse number 20, and it reads, "As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace." These are your ancient goldsmiths, right? It says to blow the fire upon it to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger. So the Lord's going to gather, Russia. He's going to gather all of these different nations and or man and beast, and he's going to burn them. The same way he gathered all of the brass, all of the iron, all of the tin. And that goldsmith, he's going to gather everything up for a big burn and a big melt, man. They even do that in the gold market. They'll take all of the gold and they'll make gold bars with it. And they'll break down all of the gold scraps and metals into different things, and they'll purify them and move them to the side and make gold bars with it. And the Lord is going to burn these nations, man. Yemen, right? All of the Middle East, right? Your so-called Israelis, right? They're not getting away neither. It says this. It says, in the midst of the furnace and blow the fire upon it to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. Yeah, I will gather you and blow upon the fire in my wrath. And the Lord's always with gathering you up. The Lord gathered Israel together, right, and dealt with them harshly, right, according to their wicked sins. The Lord is going to gather all nations together. The brother just brought up the precept in Joel. And the Lord's going to gather up the wheat and the tares. The Lord's with gathering up, right? It says this. Yeah, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire in my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I, the Lord, have poured out my fury upon you. Right? This isn't the ancient word the Lord is going to chastise you by little and little, man. No, this is the big threshing of all the violence and things that have budded in the last days. And like the brother said, this is going to be World War III. This is going to be the great threshing and the great destruction. Brothers got it.
Con. And I want to get this real quick because brought this out before, but this is Second Chronicles, right? Chapter 16 and verse 19. It's like in verse 9. This Second Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 9. This what now when you read this account, I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but Asa the king, he had this problem where he would always trust in man and not trust in the Most High. All of the kings of Judah had a problem. You could look at the different downfalls and examine yourself, and they were all slightly different. Some men, they love those that hate the Lord, like Jehoshaphat. Men like Uzziah, that they got too proud and puffed up. Men like Asa, they didn't trust the Most High. A lot of these kings of Judah had these shortcomings. Hezekiah, right? He wrought folly and showed his whole inheritance, man, to the heathen, tempting the Most High. All of these kings did things. Now, this is what Asa did. He trusted in man, right? This Second Chronicles 16 and verse 9. And the prophet came and rebuked him because instead of going before the Most High, he trusted in the Syrians, I believe. So the Syrians could help him, but he didn't trust in the Most High. So the Lord sent the prophet to get on him. Here's what the prophet said in Second Chronicles 16 and 9. For the eyes of Yahweh run to and fro throughout the whole earth to show himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. So the Most High said, if you do foolishly, if you trust in man, if you set up your own gods, your own idols, the Lord said you do foolishly, and from that point on, you're going to have nothing but wars, man. That's why Babylon the Great has had wars from their inception. They've been in war since they've been a country. They've been in war in the Revolutionary War, war in the 1812, the French and Indian War, the Quasi War, right? The Spanish American War, World War One, World War Two, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Persian Gulf War, the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan. They're always at war. And that having a country just integrated with war 24/7 is a sign that that nation is doing foolishly, man. And that's why they have wars. And this is the last war, like the scriptures say, man. The prophet said, since thou hast done foolishly, you're going to have wars. So this is the Most High letting you know that they're about to go to another war just to be destroyed. Because America does foolishly, man. They set up sodomites. They have bug outs in office. They oppressed the children of Israel. They destroyed the earth. They have done very foolishly. And therefore, they will have this war. It's inevitable, man. There's nobody that can stop it. There's no treaty. There's no get together. There's no, okay, sign here and sign there. And let's all go home and be friends. They will have wars. And these 90,000 troops will all die. It's inevitable by the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? Brothers got it. I just want to read this one thing afterwards.
Okay, Khan. And another part of war is that war is going to take place not just on land but on sea. Right? I mean, it's revving up seriously in the Red Sea. The brothers aren't watching. Right? It's not just going to be war on land, it's going to be war in the air. Right? It's going to be war on sea. Right? It's going to be war right in tanks. Right? It's going to be war, everywhere. I mean, the so-called U.S. government has many classifications of an army. Right? It's not just the U.S. Army. They got the Marines, the Purge, they got the Gulf, right? The Coast Guard, right? I mean, the Air Force. They got many branches of government set up. They even got a Space Force. All these things set up for nuclear destruction and or to be apt for war, right? I mean, and that's kicking off as we speak, right, in the Red Sea. Let me pull this quick precept. This is Ezekiel chapter 27 and verse 33. When the wars went forth out of the seas, thou fillest many people. Thou didst enrich the kings of the earth with a multitude of thy riches and of thy merchandise. And the time when thou should be broken by the seas in the depths of the waves, thy merchandise and thy company in the midst of thee shall fall. And the Lord said, there are wars on the seas, man. You can read about that in the book of Revelation, the 8th chapter, Revelation, the 16th chapter, right? Ezekiel, the 27th chapter. There are many prophecies of war going on in the seas because this is the last war. They wasn't doing this type of warfare, right, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. That's how we know that it's talking about the end of the world and World War III. But you got it, King.
Yeah, and just to add to that, not only do you have the NATO troops mustering up 90,000 troops, but also the European Union states have reached an agreement and quote unquote, in principle, to launch a military operation to secure merchant shipping in the Red Sea. The EU's top diplomat says. You see that? Because what they plan on doing is the Yemen and the Houthis, they plan on stopping up a lot of the ships. Now you're messing up their money. And it's always one thing this devil don't play around with. He don't play around with his drugs and his money, man. That he got shipping to his children, that he human traffics, and all of his damn merchantmen. That same chapter in Ezekiel 20, that was 27, right? It speaks about the merchantmen of Babylon the Great, man. So they want to secure the merchants, and that's Ezekiel 26 as well. They want to secure their merchant shipping in the Red Sea. let me get this quick precept real quick. In First Maccabees, right, the 8th chapter, right, this First Maccabees. So this thing may heat up, man. If they launch this military operation and they actually send this stuff down there, it's going to be a big deal. First Maccabees chapter 8 and 32. If therefore they complain any more against thee, we will do them justice and fight with thee by sea and by land. So that link up, that's what the Romans do. And the 10 horns, which is your European Union, they fight by sea and by land. And that's what they said, they're going to launch a military operation to secure merchant shipping in the Red Sea. So, hey, this thing is getting real, man. They're going to send the admirals, their top Navy guys, and all of this attacking going on in the Red Sea. I mean, the Mosaka had this thing just speed up so quickly, man. Now, Babylon the Great, they just launched attacks. As of, I believe, yesterday or not 2 days ago, they just did a massive bombing out there in Yemen, man. Now it's only a matter of time before Iran gets involved. And if Iran get involved, Syria and Iraq is going to get involved. And then Russia is going to get involved. And once they all get involved, I mean, you're going to have World War III. And Jake is still going to be smoking blunts, worried about what these rappers are doing, and freaking off while World War III is actually going to be literally taking place in the so-called Middle East. Right? Brothers got it.
Con, let me bring this up. Right. I mean, and like we keep going over, right? You can't be caught up in the surfeiting and drunkenness of this life, man. Right. Let me get this quick precept. It's the book of Luke, right? Chapter 21. And I'm going to start at verse number 32. It says, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves. Right? This is the counsel, advice, and or commandment the Most High Ba'ashem Yahushua is giving you in the last days, when all of these things start to kick off. To take heed to yourselves. Right? Because you can know all of the prophecy, you can know all of the breakdowns, and your spirit not be right. And it goes a lot into being perfect in the last day. The Lord is coming to save the perfect. The Lord said, mark the perfect man, for the end of that man is peace. And there's nothing more peaceful than to be delivered in a land of confusion and the uproar, man. It says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life, so that day come upon you unawares. And the Lord set it up in such a way to where, right, even though it's the end of the world, you still have the opportunity, right, to fall away by drinking, right, by music, by fornication, by idolatry, by all of the things of this life that are going to allure you, man, and sorcery. So you don't want to have that type of mentality to get led away by your drunkenness. There's a lot of people falling out the truth. And getting closer and closer to Passover, is going to be a lot more people getting tempted. Cars being broken into, right? Marriages in an uproar, friendships, people are growing grudges. Right? There are going to be a lot of things that Satan is going to throw your way, and Satan isn't going to slow up. If anything, Satan is going to ramp up because he understands the times. He can look and perceive right through his hand on earth what he's doing and what the Heavenly Father is letting him do on the earth, man. Right? These seals being unlocked, right, and open. Right, so these spirits are running to and fro, right, and all the hell was breaking loose in the uproar. These spirits can discern the time, huh? So you have to be in that same mentality. It says, for as a snare shall it come upon all them that dwell on the face of the earth. It says a snare. And the snare is going to happen when a bird least is expected. And that bird's minding his business. Next thing you know, he's caught in the snare. There isn't no get out of jail free card, man. There's no repenting in that day, man. All your works and all of the things that you've done are sealed up. That's why the Lord says through many parables, right? Just, and I'm gonna use the book of Matthew, the 25th chapter, is one of them. That men are going to be running to and fro, asking to receive some of the oil, and or to receive mercy from the Most High. They're not going to find it, right? When you read the book of Amos, the 8th chapter, men are going to be running to and fro, right? When you read the book, right, of Second Esdras, the 5th chapter, the Lord is going to have wit withdraw itself into his secret chambers. That's the knowledge and the wisdom that you should obtain, right? So the Lord says this: watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and stand before the Son of Man. God's got it.
And I want to read this quick quote that the Houthi said. Now, if you watching, you know that the Houthis, even though they say Yemen, they are backed up by essentially Iran. They're like a proxy army or an army set up by Iran to wage war against Babylon the Great. Now, it says what Yemen's Houthis gain through their Red Sea strikes. Now, I want to jump down. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I want to read what they say. Now, check this out. But a major segment of global shipping is still skirting transit points through the Red Sea that are in range of Houthis' attacks. And the Houthis themselves appear unbowed after the U.S.-led coalition attacks. At rallies, check this out. At rallies staged over the weekend in Yemen's capital, Sana'a, Houthi supporters reportedly chanted, "We don't care," and make it a world war. So the Most High made them say that, man. The Most High put in these Ishmaelite spirit to say, we don't give a damn about Babylon the Great. Let's make it a world war. So nobody fears America anymore, man. What the hell are the Houthis doing telling America, let's make this a world war, man? They were just building sandcastles last night, man. And playing with pebbles, riding camels. But now they got the audacity, the courage, the gonads, the testicular fortitude to tell America, hey, shut up and let's make this a world war, man. So that shows you America's weak. If you got the Houthis telling you that, man, they said we don't care and make it a damn world war, man. Let me get this quick precept real quick. This place is done, man. They wasn't doing that in the 1940s. You think Yemen would tell America after they dropped Hiroshima and Fat Boy and Little Man in Japan, or Hiroshima and Nagasaki? You think they were telling them then in the 1940s and 50s, we don't care, make it a world war? No, man. They see, what do they say? What's the famous saying? They see blood in the water. That's what they say when sharks, and it's a saying, right? They can smell victory, Let me get this quick precept real quick. Right? This is the book of Isaiah. It's like, actually, I'll get this in Luke. Right? Salakia, this is the book of Luke, chapter 21. Salakia, Luke 10. Yeah, that's what I want. Kind of Luke chapter 10 and verse 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. And that's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan who fell out. He got kicked out and they went to war. The Most High said, what are you doing? No, that's speaking about this rulership, the so-called white man. Yahweh Shah said, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. I never seen lightning take 10 minutes to hit the earth. Never seen it take 30 minutes. So the Most High said, what he said, this place is going down and it's going down quick. Right? He's having a quick downfall where you even have the Houthis saying, we don't care. Let's make it a world war. Right? But I just wanted to bring that out. Brothers got it.
Khan, that's these nations not regarding their kings and their nobles, man. Yep. Right? They don't care anymore. Right? It's just getting out of hand to where everybody's just ready to push the button. Right? This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse number 2. It says, I'm gonna start at 5:1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And when I read this, the first thing I'm thinking is that Paul already knew these men knew the times. He already knew they knew the seasons. He already knew that the Lord is coming as a thief in the night, yet he warning them again. That's why, brothers, why they keep going over this, man? Why they keep talking about the end of the world? Why do we keep going over the same precepts? Why do we keep going into prophecy? Because we're commanded to. Right? That's what the Apostle Paul did. That's what the Apostle Peter did. That's what our Lord Yahweh Shai did. That's what our fathers did. And we must move in the same spirit because the Lord is warning you. It says this, but of the time and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. So when these peace treaties are get signed and talks of war start to go down like they have in these upcoming months to where they start to ramp up now, this is all a clear indication, right, that a bomb is going to hit, man. Or hell, a breach of a contract is going to be withdrawn and something is going to kick off in a major way. You know, I have a lot of people in these whistleblowers saying, what the hell is going to happen in 2024? I mean, a lot have transpired in 2023. What's going to happen in 2024? Or we may very well see the end of the world, right, in these upcoming months to come, most high willing. Right, it says this. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And then in the times, maybe a couple of years ago, right, 10s and 20s, 40, 50 years ago, things were what they would call top secret. Right now, I mean, the Most High has put it, like we keep saying in these whistleblowers, now all you got to do is make a Twitter account. Make a Twitter account, follow about 4 brothers in the truth, and now your timeline is flooded with in-depth breakdowns and news. Right? You don't have to search very hard. Right? I mean, in the ancient world, look how hard it was to find out what was going on. You had to climb the high tower, right? You had to get the scope. You had to have the bell. You had to have the chauffeur. You had to go tell the whole town. You had to go tell the whole city. You had to be a watchman and warn the people. Now all you have to do is get on your phone with a click of a button to find out what's going on in the earth. Right? It says this. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Yeah, that's being sober on a physical level, but much more on a spiritual level, man. Because you could get drunk in this world, like we just read in the book of Luke, man, right, the 21st chapter. So you want to continuously to be sober so that you have a mentality to watch, not a mentality to get sleepy, to care about this life, to hasten right to your grandchildren and things of the future, but want to hasten to the coming of our Lord. Our brothers got it.
God, this Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 20, right? Second Ezra 15 and 20. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanon's, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, thus said the Lord God. So the Most High, he said he's going to take all of the kings of the earth, from the rising of the sun, meaning the east, all the way into the south and the west, and everybody, he's going to have these kings, what does it say? To turn themselves one against another. So he has them doing this war. Remember, this is done by the Lord, man. The Most High, he is a man of war himself. And Yahweh is his name, pursuing the Exodus 15 and 3. So this is a major sign to let you know that we're closer and closer to being delivered. Right? The Most High said, and I saw a new heavens and a new earth. Right? Let me get this real quick in Isaiah. Right? So we're looking for the new heavens and the new earth. Right? This Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 17. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. So, we don't want to dwell in this land, man. The water is polluted. You got to go to work, bills, stress. If we can name everything that's wrong and wicked and off in this captivity, this would be a 4-year life, right? Time would fail us to name all of the corruption and sin and evil that's being done on the forefront, man, and in the darkness. So that's why we have to have the spirit to have tunnel vision, put your blinders on, and press toward the mark for the high calling and the prize of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Paraphrasing Philippians, the 3rd chapter. Because the Most High, he's going to turn these nations against each other, man. And once this war literally kick off, then Jake is going to want to get right. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Jake is going to see that hell breaking loose, even in Israel. And then they want to try to get their spirit right, man. They're going to order their camp boots online, try to hurt and get them next day air, cut their towel up, but, make a mitri, try to figure out how to, where they put their garment at, take it out, iron it a little bit, maybe put Judah on there, or, or a dove or a lion, might get 3 precepts and, try to just remember 3 precepts, see if how quick they can get a camera, then they're going to go out there and act like, they've been out there, man. But the Most High sees through that. It's time to get right now. It's time to get right now. And then you have Biden's failure to deter Iran risk World War III in the Middle East. So, everybody's talking about it, like Araya said. It's a matter of time. You got the doomsday clock. You got the national articles. You got public sources. You got inside men. Everybody's telling you, get ready for World War III. The Most High is telling you, man. The Lord said, one more point, the Most High said, the Most High speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. That's in Job chapter 33, 13 on down. Because the Most High will talk to you through these whistleblowers, through these article writers, through the servants of the Most High, and man might still say, well, that's a coincidence. Rick Ross is talking about World War III. Go on YouTube, when I recommend it, they say World War III. Then I see it on the news. That's strange. Let me go back to smoking my blunt and dealing with Tamika and Keisha and Tammy. That's the mind of a carnal man. The brothers got it.
Khan is right. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, and verse number 36. It says this: Behold, the word of the Lord receiveth it. Believe not the gods whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month beareth forth her son. Within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Right? So it says these things ain't slacking, man. Right? It says, as when a woman with child in 9 months bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her wounds. We're living in the times of the great pains, man. Right? We're living in the times where the birth is destruction. Right? We're living in these times, and we can feel it. And it's not going to slack. These things aren't going to withdraw themselves. It says this: even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. In every side. That's the plagues, right? That's the pestilence, right? That's the wild beasts changing their habitations. News reporters are at a high time. All you got to do is just open your eyes, man. You don't have to look very hard. It's not hard to see the things that the Most High is showing you, because the plagues and the pain in the earth being shaken out of his place, right? It's hard not to notice these things, right? You will have to be in a very deep, strong delusion, in a deep sleep, and/or a very ignorant man to negate, neglect, and be ignorant to all of the signs of the things that the Most High is showing you. You got Dave Chappelle in his comedy series talking about it, man. You have these carnal men and these men of the world, Rick Ross, Dave Chappelle, right? Kanye West, right? All of these puppets, they're talking about it, man. There's not any avenue where you could be where you're not seeing what the Most High is trying to show you. No matter if you're young, you're old, you're rich, you're poor, no matter what it is, hey, the Lord is showing you those things, right? Let me read that last part again. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. Meaning it's going to increase and increase and increase. Right? It may start off with a movie. Right now we're starting off with 3 movies this year. Now we're starting off with more whistleblowers this year. Right? These plagues and these things happening are showing more and more. And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And as you see the signs of the sorrows coming upon the earth on every side, that's the time to perceive and understand that the earth is going to bring forth into destruction. Let's go.
That's right. Right. This is the heat of the day that we're walking into and that we're really living in. And for those who may not know, the heat of the day just represents an intense moment, right, where the Lord is heavy on the scene. Right, when you read in Matthew 20 and 11, Genesis the 18th chapter, right, this is another one in 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 11. And it was so on the morrow that Saul put the people in 3 companies, right, so they're getting ready for war. And they came into the midst of the host in the morning watch and slew the Amorites to the heat of the day. And it came to pass that they which remained were scattered, so that the 2 of them were not left together. And so just for representation, to let you know that the heat of the day is always tied to war and something really heavy about to happen. And that's the days we're living in, right? We're in the heat of the day, right? And again, it's not on the physical level, speaking, so to say, is 90 degrees or 80 degrees, but more so something intense and immense is about to happen. You can literally just feel it in the air. And if you can't, I mean, I don't know what spirit you're in. You know, you should be able to just feel it in the air that something's bigger about to happen, right? The next day and the next day. You see in I haven't seen World War III, just the term, the phrase World War III this much in my life. Nobody has. Not even our elders can say, yeah, I've heard of World War III a bunch of times. That's old. That's played out. No one can say that, right? And it just lets you know that the Lord is coming near. It's like the Lord is coming soon.
Okay.
I got one more.
Okay.
This Isaiah 42 and verse 13. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, war. He shall prevail against his enemies. So the Lord has enemies, right? And all the nations of this earth, save Israel, is indeed his enemies. And he also says this, I have a long time holding my peace. Because think about all the atrocities that these nations have done, even when you read in Revelation, right? The world has got drunk off this whore, which is Babylon. Every nation had a partaking in Israel being destroyed. And when I say Israel, I'm making reference to the true Israelites, right? The so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are Israelites, the Jews of the Bible, the Israelites. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. So the Lord is coming very soon, and he has an armory. The Lord said, if I whet my glittering sword, the Lord says he has a spear. The Lord is a mighty man, and he's a man of war, like it says in Exodus 15 and 3. So, we actually know, for those who may have an ear to hear, we actually know a little bit about the Lord, right? It lists his favorite things in 2nd Esdras, We also know what spirit he moves in when times get serious, which is war and his hand being put upon the land. With that, I yield.
Yeah, I mean, the Most High has a book called that man may not have. Don't say you got the book. No, I have it. It's in my closet. I have, under the bed. There's a book called the Book of the Wars of the Lord. Man. Let me get that real quick. To add to that real quick, this is Numbers chapter 21 and 14. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of Yahweh, what he did in the Red Sea and in the brooks of Arnon. So there's a book of the wars of the Lord about what he did in the Red Sea. And what do you think is going on in the Red Sea right now? Huh? Right? The Most High's war. There's actual accounts. And nobody knows what's in that book. An actual book called the Book of the Wars of Yahweh. Right? And all of the we don't know what's in there. It could be his battle formations and tactics, his reasoning behind the war, how many people died, and who got delivered, and what angel was there, and how many angels he used. We don't know, man. But the Most High, he's so into war. There's another book, all just about war, and the book could be this thick. So you got to be into war, man. Yeah, I don't like war. I want to go hug the tree and save the whales. Right? We're not here to hug the trees and save the whales, man. I want to plant an apple seed all throughout every city I go, right? And I want to do a jog across the country, right? This is not a movie, man. Brother, got to get their mind right. Now, this is Biden's failure to deter Iran risk World War III in the Middle East, right? It's only with the benefit of hindsight that we can now see how Europe stumbled half asleep into World War I. At the time, no one could predict how a localized regional conflict would spark what was then the most devastating conflict in human history. Now, slightly more than a century later, it is the US that is sleepwalking towards a full-blown world war, as the risk of a regional war metastasizing into a wider war continue to rise exponentially. So even Esau, they're putting this together. That Babylon the Great is sleepwalking into a full-blown world war. Rather it's next week or tomorrow or 2 weeks from now, again, like the scriptures say. But like we said, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when. It's a matter of when. So it's inevitable that you're going to have World War III kick off on the earth. Now, we also had this we want to get into. Now, this says, this is from Daily Mail. 2 Republican congressmen claim UFOs could be angels sent by God. As they say, sightings are more consistent with scriptures from the Bible. So the Most High, he's touching these wise men. He made them make a post where they said, look, we now now you got congressmen saying that the UFOs could be angels sent by God. And they're saying the sightings are more consistent with the Bible. Where did they get that from? Are they opening the books? Right? These 2 congressmen was watching the breakdowns. I'm led to believe they was watching the videos. They might have went to a camp, dressed up in civilian clothes, and asked the guy, what's them things in the sky? What's that on that sign? Right? So they went from the government being classified aliens. Now you got Edomites just spilling the beans. And they're more consistent with the Bible. You got a yard done.
I was going to say you'd be considered a conspiracy theorist 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah, hell, even a year ago, 2 years ago, you'd still be considered a conspiracy theorist. And the government, they tried their best to try to say, well, look, You guys are nut jobs. Go get your tinfoil hats. Go get a job. You bum. Get off the internet. Go get some fresh
Right.
air. They'll condemn you. You would be looked at like a lunatic. If you told one of your brothers, somebody in the world, maybe, hey man, these chariots and these UFOs are chariots in the Bible, they may want to fight you, But now, like the brother said, I mean, the cat's out the bag. The beans have been spilt, right? Somebody tipped over the mop. I mean, it's the lid is unopened, right? As they say, Pandora's box is open, so they have no other choice but to say, look, there's UFOs. At first, and two, it's deep too. At first, they said, well, maybe there are. And then the officials say, okay, look, there are maybe. I think there are. And then they said, look, well, here's the documents. And then they said something else I can't remember. But now they're saying, look, they're angels. They tried so hard to hide it, but now, I mean, here we are, 2024. Two Republican congressmen claim UFOs could be angels. Here we are. And I had a precept after you.
Hey, real quick, this is the guy. Let me pull this guy up. Representative Burleson. This is the one of these guys, and he probably came to camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably came to a camp, whatever state he's in. Right? And he probably, asked some questions. This is the guy, Eric Burleson. Now he's in Missouri. So he probably went to maybe stumbled across WFI St. Louis, man. The Mighty Brothers in St. Louis. Maybe he watched the video, he tuned into the Sabbath service they do out there, and maybe went to camp. But this guy,
he looked curious.
Yeah. Man, look at this guy. Look at him. Right? So he's going against the status quo, man. Right? He said those things in the sky are angels sent by God. What is Esau doing saying that, they're more consistent with the scriptures? Right? What does he know about the scriptures, man? Talking about those things are more consistent. That means you know a good amount of scriptures. That means he got precept upon precept. He might have a breakdown. He might have a cold cuts channel. And it's him, and it's another Edomite, man. Right? It's this guy, and let me pull up the other guy real quick. Oh, hold on, we holding that. And Tim Burchett. Let's pull up Representative Tim Burchett. Right? He's the other guy. Right? He's the other United States representative, man. And he's from Tennessee. So he probably ran across WFI Memphis. And they probably teamed up. Look at him. Right? You see that? Look at him. So those guys look like they're going against the grain. Rebels. Just rebelling, divided. They're all supposed to be on one accord. You can't have guys coming up. That's like us having different doctrines. That's like us saying we think the chariots are the UFOs. Then I go out and I say, well, I believe the chariots are really talking about the aliens. Well, that we're divided. Aren't these representatives of Congress supposed to speak and put publicly, isn't it some type of PR guy to say, hey, look, don't say that. Don't put that out there. So this country is divided, man. Even in thought, they say the government says this. They're coming out saying, no, it's this. So, they actually believe, which is true. They're not actually angels. The UFOs are controlled by angels. And I would like to see what scriptures they go into. My brother's got it.
I was going to say real quick, you see in Matthew 12:25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And that's exactly today. Even on a more carnal level, you have the House of Representatives, you got the House, these different houses that Esau has in their government. And they're all divided against each other. I bet my bottom dollar there's been some, of Republicans telling them, hey, keep that on the down low. Be
Yep.
quiet. Shut up. Shut up. I believe it. And you have other Democrats. Well, first of all, Democrats they popping each other in a Senate. So that's
Yep.
already nasty.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, the Republicans are spilling the beans. Biden, his mind is gone. It's in another land. You know, Trump is just being a pervert, a goofball. This place is finished. It's a silly place. I'm gonna be honest. It's silly, right? Um, I want to get this too. This is Second Maccabees chapter 5 verse 1. About the same time, Antiochus, right? Antiochus, his high prince, prepared his second voyage into Egypt, and then it happened that through all the city, for the space, it's like for the space almost of 40 days, there were seen horsemen running in the air and clothed of gold and armed with lances, like a band of soldiers, and troops of horsemen in array, encountering and running one against another, with shaking of shields and a multitude of pikes, and drawing of swords, and casting of darts, and glittering of ornaments, and the harnesses of all sorts. Right? So we say that to say these are chariots. These are what the world may call, formerly called UFOs, which is just an acronym for unidentified flying objects. But now, recently, people may identify them as let's say
UAP.
UAO,
UAP.
UAP, unidentified phenomenon. Is that what they call them?
Aerial phenomenon. Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Unidentified area phenomenon. Right. So the name's changing, but the game's sustained. We still know what they are at the end of the day. Chariots, according to the Bible. And like the brother eloquently said, these angels are powering these chariots. And so here in the ancient world, you have Antiochus. He's watching the works of the Lord just move throughout the sky, shining, running rampant, running, breaking the sound barrier, shooting things, even as this is happening today. That black and white image, you mind clicking in on that, Barbara Sure? I believe that was the one that the Navy or one of the Esau branches they kind of revealed it. They said, "Look, I mean, we tried to follow this thing; it was running circles around us, right?" And it reads this, verse 4: "Wherefore every man prayed that the apparition might turn to good." So it was an intense thing to see back then, even as it is to this very day and hour. And man knows that. Esau knows it, right? The same way they made know that the end is near, right? By building bunkers, they also know the end is near by understanding that these chariots are becoming more prevalent, right? These are signs of it's like signs of the Lord. These are tokens, right? We didn't see all these chariots back in '05 and 2008. A brother just walk outside and he just start seeing chariots. And it's a magnificent sight to see for Israel, but a terrifying sight for them. And even one more point, Esau, when they're on their deathbed, they kind of confess the truth, just to kind of clean their hands. And this is they're moving in that spirit of trying to clean their hands and let the people know what's the truth, which is that these angels are sent by God and are maneuvering and operating in these UFOs.
God. I mean, it is. I mean, they're right to a certain extent. They are right. They more than likely now they could come out. Now I challenge they could come out. Eric Burleson and Tim Burchett, they could come out and say, well, look, WFI, look, y'all wrong. We didn't watch the videos, we didn't watch the breakdowns. They could email, they could do it live. We'll bring them on the live and they could, they could do it, they can say what they want to say. But I'm led to believe as a man that they tuned in some form of fashion. Because the Most High's not, the Most High said he revealed the secret unto his servants, the prophets, man. They're not going into Ezekiel, the 1st chapter, Revelation, the 10th chapter, right? Numbers, the 12th chapter, Exodus, the 40th chapter, Zechariah, all these chapters that speak about the chariots and just breaking them down. So something's going on. And like Yaradan said, the spilling the beings. And look at them, right? Now I want to get this quick precept. This is the book of Ezekiel, the first chapter, right? Because believe it or not, these what you call UFOs, they are being controlled by the angels. All right. Now, I'm not going to read this whole account, but this is Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 15. Ezekiel 1 and 15. I'm read 4, then I'm going to jump to 15. Ezekiel chapter 1 and 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. So Ezekiel was watching, and this chariot, this what they call a mothership, we call it a fathership, it just manifested itself in the sky, right? It just materialized. It came from the third heaven, and it came straight to the earth. And Ezekiel saw a UFO, right? Let's read on. Also, now you can say, well, that's science fiction, I don't believe it, or it's in the Bible, right? Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. So out of that chariot, they sent down 4 angels, and they had the likeness of a man. So they had a head, shoulders, knees, toes, and everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. So these angels aren't your regular angels you see on TV and movies with hair on a forehead and diapers and wings and rosy cheeks. These angels have 4 faces. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 15. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creature with his 4 faces. So Ezekiel, he's honed in on this angel. Then his chariot comes next to the angel, right? The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, which is like a bluish or like a greenish beryl. Beryl comes in different colors, so like a greenish bluish, right? Was like unto the color of a beryl, and they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. And that's what the chariot resembles, man. A wheel in the middle of a wheel. That's why they call it a flying saucer. Because you got one moving clockwise, you might have the other part moving counterclockwise. So Ezekiel saw that. A wheel in the middle of a wheel. So that is consistent to what we see in the air and then the earth, and it links directly up with the Bible. Brothers got it.
Khan, I'm gonna get this precept diving into that as well. But this is the book of Ezekiel, right? And the Lord has an in-depth breakdown in Ezekiel, like the brother was going into the first chapter as well as the 10th chapter and the 11th chapter. Right, it's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 11 and verse 22. Then did the cherubims lift up their wings, and the wheels beside them, and the glory of the God of Israel was over them above. And the glory of the Lord went up from the midst of the city, and stood upon the mountain which is on the east side of the city. Afterwards, the Spirit took me up and brought me in a vision by the Spirit of God into Chaldea and them of the captivity. So the vision that I had seen went up from me. Then I spake unto them of the captivity all the things that the Lord had shewed me. Right, so Ezekiel, he got the in-depth breakdown and a vision of how these chariots actually look, man. Right, their color, right, how they move, what's inside of the chariots, that the Spirit of the Most High is right above the chariots. It says, then did the cherubims lift up their wings, and the wheels beside them. Right, so the angels are navigating these chariots by the Spirit of the Most High. Right, and I'm going to get this other quick precept. This is Ezekiel chapter 10 in verse number 10. It says, and as for their appearances, they 4 had one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel. right? So when you see these depictions of how they depict the chariots, they're somewhat similar to a certain degree. They can only get but so close to what we're actually reading, but they got a will inside of a will. All right, this is technology beyond anybody's understanding. This is far advanced, right, than Esau's technology. Esau got infrared goggles. Esau, he could kind of do a lot of sorcery with his military, right, beams and different things like that. But these chariots, they disappear, right? You can't detect them, you can't trace them, you can't follow them. They hop inside of different portals, right? They disappear, they come back, they destroy, they multiply, they come back together. Like, this is something fast, far beyond anybody's imagination. And a lot of these things what these chariots can do are not even written. And we've seen these with our bodily eyes, right? Reading on, it says, when they went upon their four sides. They turned not as they went, meaning they're not like Esau. Now, Esau is double-minded, right? You'll see a damn so-called Air Force going this way, then they're turning back and then go the other way, man. Right? They're crashing into each other. I've literally seen a video where a helicopter crashed into another helicopter, as if he didn't see him right in front of him. So these nations and what they have in their aircraft, is slim to none. It says they turned not as they went, but the place whether their head looked, they followed it, and they turned not as they went. And their whole body and their backs and their hands and their wings and their wheels were full of eyes round about, even the wheels that they had, Slakia, they four had. So, but like you see it, a lot of these so-called UFOs, they have eyes all around them, right? Which you can see all around, right? Whether there be multiple angels inside of that, right? Or whether there be multiple witnesses on an area, or whether there be multiple things far beyond our imagination to comprehend. Brothers got it.
God. And these are going to be used for two purposes. See, they don't. What the so-called white man pushes is that there's going to be an alien invasion of extraterrestrial beings, and he's trying to paint this narrative that like there was an alien in Miami. He said, I don't know if brothers remember seeing that. They said, okay, and I think it was Miami. We seen this alien walking on all fours, and then before that, they saw an alien in somebody's backyard. They have green eyes and they're kind of tall, and I don't know what they're doing back there. Should we get them? And all of that is a scam, right? Everybody's been getting scammed lately, and everybody's been getting scammed by the government, man. Well, you starting to believe they're trying to push this narrative that there's actual aliens with green tentacles, and they're here to take over their natural resources and enslave the human race and colonize planet Earth, and they're from planet Xenon, and it's not happening. All of that is a big old tall tale. There's no green aliens. There's no life on Mars, right? There's no people in a galaxy far, far away. There's no planet that's kind of like Earth, and it kind of got another kind of people, and the Most High made another people, and they got another David over there, and then over here we had David, and the Most High got no, man. Right? Don't believe that, man. It's not biblical. These angels serve two purposes. These chariots, to destroy and deliver, to extract and to exterminate, man. Right? That's what they're here for, to destroy and deliver. Like the brother said, they can shoot out lasers. They could just evaporate you, man. And the chariots are coming to beam us up, translate us out the land of the living. Right? Let me get a quick precept on that. Right? This is Genesis. What do you think happened to Enoch? Right? Genesis chapter 5 and verse 25 or 22, Salakia. And Enoch walked with the Most High after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for the Most High took him. What does that mean, he walked with the Most High? Does that mean he was just walking on the beach? Like they tell you that church story, footsteps in the sand, and I didn't know that the Most High was carrying me. And no, man. He walked with the Most High the same way you're walking with the Most High now, in a narrow path, in an upright path, in the matters of truth. As you ponder your feet and look straight on, you're walking with the Lord now when you keep the commandments. You're walking with the Most High when you repent. You're walking with the Most High when you're obedient. Enoch was walking with the Most High, but Enoch was not, for the Most High took him. So the Most High, he took Enoch out the earth and beamed them up in a chariot. And that's what's going to happen to us if we're part of that number. We're walking with the Most High. We're going to be not, because the Most High is going to take us. The Lord isn't going to part the Atlantic Ocean and deliver us. Marcus Garvey thought he would get a fleet of ships and send us back to God knows where. We're not going to go on ships, man. We're not going to leave this spot on a plane. We're not leaving or by walking. The chariots are going to beam us up, and we're going to go in these vehicles, and the other vehicles are going to destroy the earth, and then they're going to set us back down in our own land. Let me get one more real quick. Right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah. I mean, there's so many precepts, but let me just get this real quick. And Isaiah, the 27th chapter and verse 13. Right? Isaiah 27, it's like in verse 12. Isaiah 27 and 12. And it shall come to pass at that day that the Lord shall beat off from the channel of the river unto the stream of Egypt, and ye shall be gathered one by one, O ye children of Israel. What's going to gather us one by one? The chariots, man. They're going to, the clouds of heaven. And they have many names. The clouds of heaven, they're called stars, chariots, cherubims, a swift cloud, the wings of the wind, birds of a dove, right? And they're going to carry us back to Jerusalem. Brothers got it.
And they also call it a flying roll.
Yep.
Right. In Isaiah 26, and I'm about to read it, most high willing, they call it chambers. Right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 26 and verse number 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as if it were a little moment, until the indignation be passed over. Right. So they have many code names in the scriptures, and that's going to be that safe place that we're going to be in when destruction is going to be on the earth. The Lord calls them chambers. Come shut the doors. Shut the doors is the same lingo the Lord used in Matthew, right, the 22nd chapter. Right, come shut the doors for the marriage is come. Right. It's not talking about a physical marriage. You walk down the aisle, you had to have the key, right? And if you don't have the key, or you don't knock twice, or the deacon doesn't let you in, then you can't attend the wedding, or you had to have an invitation. No, the chambers, the doors are the chambers. That's what the Lord is calling the so-called UFOs. They're going to be our transportation from earth, right, until the destruction is passed over to where we're placed back down safely upon earth, right? And it reads, it says, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Meaning the time is come. Right on. I'm going to get this account too real fast in Job. Right. So even during the time of Job, right, it's prophesied about. Right. It's the mighty book of Job. So like it there with me. Chapter 14. And I'm going to start at verse number 12. So man lieth down and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep. Oh, that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret until thy wrath be past, that thou wouldest appoint me a set time and remember me. So Job is saying, oh, that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, because Job know that it's going to be a lot of destruction that's going to be on the earth. Right? I mean, Enoch prophesied that the Lord would come with 10,000s. It's not anything new that Isaiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, right, or Jeremiah spoke about. That was something our fathers have been knew about from the time of the very beginning. Right? It says, if a man die, shall he live again. All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come. Right? So the Lord is going to change us in a twinkling of an eye. He's going to change us into a new man. You understand, into a new creature through the Spirit. Right? And we're going to get out of here. Right? And then a lot is going to take place, as we leave the earth. That's another breakdown. But we're actually going to change in the air. Right? And we're actually going to be called up with a trumpet. Brothers, God.
Huh. And what you're looking at, this is what they call the tractor beam, that light that's going to come down. And that's that light that's going to bear us up, where the angel's going to bear us up into the chariot, man. And a lot of times, I mean, even our our ancestors, our great grandfathers and grandmothers, they sang songs about the chariots, man. Swing low, sweet chariot. They weren't talking about an actual chariot on with wheels on the earth, because how is that going to swing low? They would be in the night sky calling upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man, after hard labor and being oppressed and raped and beat down, and the Most High would show them on the plantations throughout the Americas and the islands. They would see these vehicles fly down, and a lot of our forefathers, they knew that they were Israel when they brought over here, man. They knew about the chariots of the Most High. They had old slave, so-called Negro spirituals. Right? What made it spiritual? The point and the fact that it stemmed from the Bible. That's what made the Negro spiritual. Not like now when Jake say they're spiritual because they deal with crystals and tarot cards and chakras. No, the Negro spirituals had a foundation in the precepts. Key example, Kumbaya, swing low, sweet chariot, come and take me home, huh? Because they would see these vehicles flying in the sky. And they knew what they were, but they wanted them to come low and deliver them and beam them up and put them back in Jerusalem. So that's what you're seeing on this screen right here, man. Right? The chariots beaming up. That's what we call beaming up, but the Most High call it translated. Let me get this precept real quick. Acts chapter 1 real quick. Right? This is the book of Acts, chapter 1. And verse 9, right? Acts 1 and 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So again, the questions on the table for these pastors to break down Acts 1 and 9. What is the cloud that received Yahweh Shai out of his sight? Oh, it was a thunder cloud. A thunder cloud can't receive somebody. Well, it was a rain cloud. No. A chariot received him. A UFO, if you can understand. While Yahweh Shah was talking, a so-called black man, to a bunch of other so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, thousands of them at one time, in power, a UFO came and abducted him. Now you got people that's new. Well, that's what the hell? You got people closing their live, shutting the laptop down, turning the TV off. Right? Turning their phone off. Do you believe that? They said that Jesus Christ was abducted in a spaceship. Yeah, and we'll say it again, huh? He was translated in a chariot. That's what that means. While he was talking, he got abducted. The word abduct means to be led away. Ab is Latin for away, and duct meaning to lead. So he was led away in a chariot. Verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. So Yahweh Shai got beamed up, and they're watching like, wow. And two angels came down, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahweh Shai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So the angel said the same way you saw him coming up, going away in the chariot, he's coming back in a chariot, which means what? Yahweh Shah is returning in a chariot. For those who may not understand, Jesus Christ is coming back in a spaceship, right? And he's coming back to kill a lot of so-called white people and the wicked of our people and these other nations. So you got these brothers got it. You got these congressmen. Where is it at? I have to find it again. But you got these congressmen out there putting it on the forefront, man. All right, let me pull that up one more time.
There was another one. I sent it. It's a representative. I think she's in Tennessee. I'm about to pull it up again.
You about to
Where
show it?
is it? Uh, uh,
All right, let me pull it up. So I can bear with me. Let me pull that up real quick.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? She said, "I'm a Christian and I believe the Bible," said Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a representative of, I believe, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. And she said, I think that to me, honestly, I looked into it. I mean, how do you just look into it? You're watching the videos. A lot of them, they're watching the videos. We know it to be true, right? And I think we have to question if it's more of the spiritual realm, angels or fallen angels. That's my honest opinion. You know, so it's where is this? If you scroll down just a little bit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like the seventh paragraph where you can read it.
Okay.
But just the thought of them even saying that it's angels. I mean, where do you get that idea? Where do you get that from? I mean, get it from the scriptures, right?
Here you have it.
In fact, that it's not too hard to believe anyway. It shouldn't be too hard to believe. Even people in the ancient world, they saw the chariots during the time of Rome. You can actually, when you look up UFO pictures during the Renaissance, they had one with Yahweh shot. They actually have them. So it's not a tall tale. It's not like the Johnny Appleseed, or what's the one with the axe? That the Jake.
John
I
Henry.
can't think. Yeah, John Henry. Right? The angels aren't John Henry. They're actual, spirits operating in these chariots. And it sounds crazy. Jake may still be telling himself it still sounds crazy and it's silly. Sounds like y'all living in DC or Marvel. But I mean, that's just reality, to be honest. You know, that comes a part of being in this truth, believing and having faith in these things. A lot of things can sound weird or wild, but I mean, you got to deal with it.
What a quick point. We're weird, man. We're a peculiar people. So the peculiar people aren't going to use vehicles that the ordinary people use. We're a special people. Why would a special people drive something that the devil drives and it resorts on his understanding and his type of transportation? We're special, man. That's Deuteronomy 7:6. We're peculiar. We're different. We're strange. We're a strange people, man. They tell you that in editions of Esther. We have strange laws and strange customs, man. Because we are strange. We have angels. That's strange. We have UFOs or chariots, man. We have the Most High. We got Yahweh Shai. We have a temple. We sacrifice animals. We got menorahs. We got incense. We got frankincense. We got all these strange things, man. We slay bullocks and we sprinkle blood upon the altar. We don't eat and drink for long periods of time to connect to an invisible power. What the world calls fasting, we pray and we talk to our Creator that they may not think. He has a name that we say that He gave us. That's strange to these people, man. Like I said, we wear this thing on our head, what they call mitris, and what did that guy say? You got French fries. The dude, fake King David. So y'all got French fries on y'all shirt, man. Right? So I mean, these are strange things. We grow our beards out. We look unprofessional and unkept. We're mad. Our women wear dresses. They cover up. They got head wraps on. The children call upon the name of. We're a weird people, man. In the eyes of the world, we're very strange. So it's only right that we got chariots given to us by the Most High. And like Yaradan said, this woman said, "I'm a Christian and I believe the Bible." I think that, to me, honestly, I've looked into it. And I think we have to question if it's more of the spiritual realm, angels or fallen angels. And that's my honest opinion. Right? But brothers got it.
I want to say one point. It's a Negro spiritual. It's titled "I Want to Be Ready." I'm just gonna read one little part. It says, it reads, "I want to be ready. I want to be ready to walk in Jerusalem just like John." And it also says, "If you get there before I do, walk in Jerusalem just like John. Tell all my friends I'm a coming too. Walk in Jerusalem just like John." But I thought the kingdom of heaven would be in the clouds, like that one movie Down to Earth. I thought we all be in a cloud, and we get a VIP room with Tupac and Biggie, and they tell us about these stories on Earth. And we'll hear it, and we'll see MLK. You said what?
With a bunch of smoke in the background.
Yeah, bunch of smoke and liquor, hardcore liquor in the background, and other strange stuff. And then women walking by, we'll see Aaliyah, we'll see MLK, we'll see all these people, and his music just bumping, right?
They got on all white suits.
Yeah, all white, no stains, eating pork. I mean, I thought that was this people's kingdom. I thought that's how people envisioned the kingdom would be. But in this Negro spiritual, it's saying, right? He said, walk in Jerusalem just like John. I mean, how would he get to Jerusalem? It'll have to be by way of chariot, because we're going to inhabit it, New Jerusalem in the kingdom. The Lord said, "Thy will be." It's like it says, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." So His will is going to be done and established even on earth, and to establish New Jerusalem on earth. So we're going to be walking in New Jerusalem, just like John did in the ancient world. But the way that's going to happen is by a chariot coming to us, and we're getting abducted and taken to another land. That's strange. We sound like freaks to some people. Our neighbors probably listening to us like, what are they talking about? They're weird. They're creepy. He said, if you get there before I do, walk in Jerusalem just like John. Yeah, that's kind of deep.
Yeah.
And Lord willing, we will walk in Jerusalem just like John.
Hey, and real quick, just to add on that, this from Swing Low Sweet Chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing Low Sweet Chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Right? So you could read this whole thing on your own, but I mean it's pretty plain, like Yaradan was saying, man. I looked over Jordan, which means they were looking toward the east. The angel, the Lord said in Revelation 7, an angel that came from the east having a seal of the living God. Second Ezra 1:38, it says, "Behold thy people that cometh from the east." So this thing is real, man. So you got these senators and these congressmen all speaking of the chariots, but Jake talking about, well, I don't believe in that stuff. That's spooky. There you go with that spooky stuff again.
That's what I was going to say.
You said what?
Slack. That's the word I was going to say. My uncle called it spooky. Spookism.
Yep. He said, there you go with all of that spooky stuff again. Well, how's that spooky, man? But you got it, King. Brothers got it. And then it's like we had two more quick things. Who directors calls for world pestilence? You got to kind of be mindful to prepare. I don't even know if I can say this yet. For pestilence X, you might say the word and they'll throw it, damn flag the video. So who director, which is the World Health Organization, they're calling for a world pestilence treaty to prepare for pestilence X. Right? So they, these doubles, they brewing up something, man. Disease or pestilence X. I'm gonna just put it out there till brothers come up with a better name for it. Right? But brothers got it. Just want to put that out there. Then another thing, Alabama inmates remains returned without organs. So now they coming out, which we've been saying that all of these inmates in prison, they hit them upside the head with a rock, throwing them out back, cutting them up, and taking their organs, put them in a bag, and selling it to the highest bidder. And then they family find out they loved one died, or he got stabbed or whatever. Esau choked them out, paid the guy off to stab him because he wanted his organs. Esau do stuff like that. He found out this inmate got good organs, he'll pay another inmate to damn stab him, or a damn CO to choke him out, correctional officer to beat him to death, but not too much to bruise his organs. Then they cut him up and play operation, man, and take his damn organs out and sell it to the elites. So you got a lot of things in the dark going on the earth. And these families are upset, man. They're pretty hot. So you got World War III on the earth. You got organs coming up missing. You got the chariots. You got congressmen believing in the chariots. What else we going to? You got doomsday bunkers. Rick Ross got a damn doomsday bunker. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, they're all getting ready for war. So it's imperative that we get right and come back to the Most High. Do brothers have something else? Or do brothers want to go into closing precepts?
I'm going to close precepts.
Yeah, I'll bring out mine's first. And this is the beginning. I'm sure tomorrow and or this week, something is going to hit the fan. So continue to stay watched. This isn't the end all be all. This is just the beginning. All right, let me bring this precept out. It's the mighty book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 2. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, who have not found thy works perfect before God. Right, this is an examination precept, man. Right, the Lord said, be watchful, meaning watch prophecy, watch your spirit, watch your household, watch the brethren, right? Be a shepherd, man, in many ways than one. Being a shepherd isn't, just on one avenue. Being a shepherd is many ways, right? You got to know what's going on. It says, and strengthen the things which remain. So whatever is remaining, dying off, strengthen it up, right? The scriptures could be prophecy, could be a common knowledge of what's going on in this earth, right? Could be of your repentance, right? Whatever it is, the Lord said, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. And that's mercy that the Most High is telling us this, because he wants to present us spotless and blameless before his son Yahushua. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come in thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So if you're not watching and being diligent and holding fast the sound doctrine the Most High is giving you, the Lord is going to visit you like a thief in the night and blow out your candlestick. So continue to watch, read, and pray, and be on fire in the last days.
It says in Luke chapter 7, verse 47, wherefore I say unto thee, her sins which are many are forgiven, for she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. I mean, you're going to be forgiven as much as you love the Lord, right? So if you love the Lord a whole lot, with all thy mind, with all thy soul, and with all thy might, then of course he's going to forgive you, right? He's going to forgive the things that you've done last week, the things that you've done today that you may not have known of. However, if you love the Lord just a little bit, just a speckle, he's going to forgive you that much, right? Which further proves you put in it's like you get what you put in, and you reap what you reap what you sow. So you got to make sure that you're sincerely loving the Lord, right, with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy might.
This Revelation chapter 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So when it's all said and done, all we're going to have is our works that follow us. And your works are a testament of your faith and how much you believe in the Most High, believe in His Son, Yahweh Shah, how much you really believe that war is coming on the earth, or how much you really believe that the chariots are going to swing low and take you home. Like Yarda wanted to, how much do you really believe you're going to be walking in Jerusalem like John and sit at the table with the apostles, man? Peter, John, James, Andrew, etc., man. How much do you really believe, man? Now you can say, well, I believe, I know what I believe. Well, the Most High, He wants to see that through your works. And every person is going to be given according as their work shall be. If you do wicked works, you're going to get a judgment for that. If you do righteous works, you're going to get a judgment for that. And all of our works are going to be weighed in the balance, man. And God forbid we're found wanting in those days, right? But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. Bashima Mashak Malak Yabushai. We're going to hold off for the Q&A call afterwards, and we'll do Q&A. We'll do a Q&A throughout the week, Lord willing. So tune in for that. If you have questions, reserve them, hold on to them, write them down, put them in your phone, and look out on the Cold Cuts channel, which everybody should be subscribed to. Cold Cuts Resurrected, right? Cold Cuts Resurrected. And everybody should be tuned in for the Q&As and the current events and the breakdowns and the prophetic scriptures and the exhortation and the fundamentals and the law. So if you're not tuned in and subscribe to the Cold Cuts Resurrected channel, you're doing yourself a disservice. With that, Brother Naquan,
Shalom, brother Ryan.
Shalom, brother Yardan.
Kwam Yasha. Shalom.